Hello, basketball fans. It's me, DC, here for Fantasy Basketball Analyzer, helping you get ready for Week 10 of the NBA season by breaking down the waiver wire. It's coming out a day early, Saturday evening rather than Sunday, because I've got a couple of requests. Shout out to M. Archibald and Rex with a Z, R-E-Q-Z. They've been asking me to do it a little sooner, so I'm going to give it a shot this week. In fairness, next week is Christmas on the weekend, and there will be some family stuff, and the schedule will get screwy, but I won't forget about you guys. Just, roll with me. Well, it's going to be a little weird. Anyway, we're going to break down the waiver wire. And in this video, I like to think of it as the video where I'm correct when I recorded it. And in 15 minutes, when you get to watch it, I might be wrong. Why do I say that? Oh, what could it be? Oh, that's right. There's almost 50 players ruled out due to the health and safety protocol. And that's going to be our best advantage to try and scoop up some players with like low roster numbers, plug them in and get a ton of minutes, which is great. But a lot of these guys are on the same team where COVID is spreading, and so they might be ruled out immediately. For example, saw on Twitter people saying, hey, Terrence Ross is hot right now. Go look at him. Terrence Ross is on the Magic. He's out. I'm going to name some other players from the Magic that I think should be picked up, and it might change. So you're just going to have to stay on top of it. We're going to do our best. And like I talked about in the other video, we're just going to try and be a little zen about it. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. We're going to get through these times. The league is testing more, so there's going to be more names popping up in between here and New Year's. I'm sure of it. And you just got to try and stay on top of it. It's going to be a headache. But we're still going to try and have fun with it. Let's get into it. Starting right away with the Magic. Chuma Okeke. This is a small sample size here, but he had a huge game against Miami yesterday. He's playing again today on the 18th. By the time you see it, the game's probably already happened. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 steals, a block, 4 three-pointers, shot 58%. Massive game, right? And, that's a lot better than he's been doing, but also Chuma was really valuable at the end of last season. I had him on a couple of teams. He was worth the pickup. So I would consider it. He's only 37% rostered, so you can get him in like 60% of leagues. I think he's going to be valuable. To a lesser extent, if you want to look at Gary Lopez, I mixed them. Gary Harris, 12% rostered, and Robin Lopez, 6% rostered. These guys are veterans that know how to play ball, and they're getting more minutes right now. There's a good chance you get them in and play. And the beauty is the Magic right now have 4 games this week. There's only 2 teams with 4 games, OKC and the Magic. So a team that is short players, besides Chuma, the other guys, veterans that can step up and fill those minutes. You see your minutes jump from 20 to 30, you're going to see a lot of opportunity. Hopefully we see those stats go. I really like it. They also have streamable days on Monday and Wednesday. So if you pick up these guys and it's not working out, you can pivot off of it. But Toronto is an all right matchup. They get Atlanta. I don't know if you're going to get to play these guys against the Pelicans on Thursday when there's so many games, which is a great matchup. But maybe you will, because you might just be ruled out of other guys and you got to roll with it. So I would look at all those Magic players. Chuma, Gary Harris, Robin Lopez, depending on what you need, but probably in that order. All right, next up, and probably ranking 1A, 1B for me on this list, so ahead of some of the other Magic guys I've mentioned. Chimezie Metu, he's 6% rostered. There was a time where he flared up. I already did a video. He's probably the picture on a thumbnail a different time this season. He will be again this week. 6% rostered. He's really going to play. The Kings have a lot of guys out. He just played 36 minutes, which is up from 17. Got you 18, 11, a steal, and 2 blocks. It was against Memphis. I watched the game because the Grizz are so much fun. Even without Ja there, the team is so much fun, and they're happy to play together, and that's a basketball conversation, but it feels like it's watching like the 04 Pistons where they're really fun to be together. Anyway, they were playing against Sacramento. I watched the game. Metu looked really good. 6% roster's way too low. If you've got people on your team ruled out, he's not going to get to replace Kevin Durant for you. But if he's gone, like Metu can plug right in there. Sacramento's got a good couple streaming days to start the week, just like we talked about. In fact, that's going to be a theme with a lot of guys I mentioned. I think he's worth a pickup now. Ride with him until at least Wednesday, unless he's ruled out because of protocols. See how he's doing. Give him a couple of games. I think it could help you this week. Since I mentioned KD, I think I'm jumping to the Nets. Blake Griffin, rostered in 31% of leagues, had a good game. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He was basically out of the rotation, and the Nets just don't have enough guys right now. He's probably going to get a lot of run as long as he can stay healthy. Not because of protocols, just because of Blake Griffin. He's probably going to help you Now, Brooklyn doesn't have the best schedule for it. They can stream this week on Tuesday and on Saturday, but they only have 3 games and they're spread out. So he's a little less valuable than these other guys. Also, these other guys might retain it a little more, but I wouldn't be shocked if Blake Griffin had a couple good games this week. Also, he could be a pretty good play in DFS. I don't know how his pricing is going to be, which would change that. But don't sleep on Griffin, even though he's been out of the rotation. That's let his roster percentage drop. It means he's probably out there in your league. Next on my list, I got a Rockets player. It feels like every week we're doing this video now, I'm talking about another Rockets player, or the repeat in the case of Matthews. Anyway, KJ Martin, rostered in 4% of leagues, available in 96%. That's too low. If you've got guys ruled out, KJ's not exploding right now. He's not a must add. But if you've got a hole in your roster that you need someone to play for, available in 96%. Like, I have to mention him because he could be helpful to any of you. He had a decent game, 10 points, 11 rebounds. He was up to 27 minutes, 29 before that, 26, 27. So he's getting this more run and he's doing better with it. So I'm hoping he earns more. It's not for sure, which is why I mentioned, say, Blake Griffin ahead of him. But he does have the better streaming schedule because he starts earlier in the week. And KJ Martin has the chance to be getting more time throughout the season, right? The Rockets are doing their young guys, so we don't know what they're going to build out there. They could keep playing him, in which case maybe you're picking him up for more than just the stream. He's definitely worth taking a look at if some of the other guys aren't available. PJ Tucker almost made this list, 34% rostered. He's been playing all right. I mean, it's a big step up in production, but 15 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists isn't necessarily anything to write home about. But he's only rostered in 34% of league. You can pick him up. Miami doesn't have a great schedule. They've got 3 games this week. None of them are on the main streaming days. So while he could help you if you're in a pinch, if someone's out because they're injured or in the protocols, maybe you want PJ Tucker because you need a warm body. And he's playing well. He's not going to hurt you, but he doesn't necessarily have the explosive upside. And I'm saying that after he just had like his career high 23 points. But the fact that that's his career high kind of tells you where his ceiling is. I was trying to come at you with new names, but Chris Duarte, who I mentioned last week, 46% rostered. He's still available. You can pick him up. You can use him. And then if Indiana does make any trades, obviously the trade deadline's not really on us yet. It's not till February. But there's a chance that this is someone you could pick up and play, and they'll expand throughout the season. Indiana doesn't have a great streaming schedule, but if you're looking for long-term ads, I think he's still worth mentioning. He's not across that 50%, so he's able to make my list. Boston's got a bunch of bigs out, so if you want to look at Enes Kanter or Enes Freedom, give it a shot. I'm not super excited about it. I would go with some of the others. I've already mentioned a lot of big men that you can plug in there, but Boston will need some help. Robert Williams is rostered in most leagues, so he's probably not available to you. So if you want to roll the dice, or just maybe don't pick him up yet, just watch the box scores and be ready to scoop him up if it's worth it. If he's getting to play 22 minutes, maybe he'll get you a bunch of rebounds. But other than that, I feel like you're going to get more out of some of these other guys that I talked about. And then I just want to end with maybe a different approach. If you find all of this kind of maddening to stay on top of I'm mentioning players you can pick up and play right now to help you win your week and get through this week, but you want more of a long-term value, or your team amazingly isn't riddled with people that are ruled out. So if that describes your team, let's look at this another way. There could be other opportunities coming up, especially people I won't talk about because I'm limiting my list to people available in at least half of leagues. So Kelly Olynyk fits that, right? He's been out, but he's only rostered in 47% of leagues. He will be coming back soon, right? And Jeremy Grant is hurt. If you wanted, you could pick him up and just hold on to him until you need it. If you don't want to be chasing these extra minutes, that's another way to go. For instance, Isaac Okoro has been playing really well for Cleveland. He's rostered in 19% of leagues. He's ruled out for health and safety protocols, but you can look at these. He's scoring a lot of points. I prefer him in a points league than a category league, but he's getting a lot of threes, a lot of points, all right amount of rebounds. He's worth being rostered, but he's going to be ruled out for the next week or so. If you've got an injured spot or you're just okay and can ride with it, go for it. Miles McBride for the Knicks just got run and had a really good game. His box score looks okay. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals. It looked even better to watch him play. It was very exciting. And of course, he's ruled out. He's only rostered in 4% of leagues, so he's available in 96%. Now, when he comes back to the Knicks, in theory, everyone else on the team will be back and they'll be back at full strength. And his minutes went from 1 minute to 20 to 36. I can't count on that being there, but his team might have taken notice and his role might be growing. That's another approach you could take. And I'm only naming players that are rostered in less than 50% of leagues. So if there's people hurting in your league trying to manage their roster, making cuts, you might be able to pick up. For instance, I cut Al Horford before he got on the COVID list because he just hasn't been playing that well. He was a sell high a while ago. I was able to get it done. Honestly, I didn't pursue it as hard enough as I should have. Anyway, I already cut Al Horford. He's only available in like, I don't know, 16% of leagues, 20% of leagues, but he hasn't been playing that well, and now he's on the list. Some people might cut bait here, and if you're in a good position, take a look. Like, worst case scenario, you scoop someone up and take the L, and then you ride with it. You know, Kyrie Irving was supposed to just come back, and he will be available on road games. But he just tested positive. It was immediately ruled out as well. Someone probably cut someone decent to try and jump on Kyrie if he wasn't already rostered. And you might be able to look at your like free agent wire and find a bunch of names higher value than I'm talking about. Like, I would give Chuma Okeke a look. I would definitely look at Chimezie Metu. If there's other people you're more interested in, consider it. Now, I'm not going after Anthony Simons because he's only got 2 games this week, but feel free to let me know in the comments or on Twitter, people you're considering, and we'll just try and stay on top of these things as best we can. Have a great weekend. Here comes week 10. I hope you go out through the craziness and win your week. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. It helps me grow the channel. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe or even the little bell will give you alerts, and I'll be back soon with another video for you.